Do you want to know a price of Ethereum this year or the year after? Do you want to know when will Ethereum reach all-time highs again? Well, I do. So let's entertain ourselves and let me introduce you to the simplest way of price prediction. For that prediction, we will use a weekly chart of Ethereum versus US dollar and also look at the search trends of Ethereum and the interest of people over the last 5 years. Let me point out to you what is holding Ethereum back. So after you subscribe to this channel, let us entertain ourselves. Before the prediction party start, a quick fact about Ethereum searches to point out. So this is people's interest in the last 5 years. We already looked at this chart and pointed out these two bumps in the last Ethereum peak of the bull market. This was the year 2017, when Ethereum and other altcoins gone wild. But this is not why we're here. We are here because of one line, a resistance line. Before we make it visible, a few points of reference are needed. The first point in 2018, when we reached a 16 on this chart. A second point last year, when we reached 26 on Ethereum chart. And our third point this year, 2 months ago, when we reached 32 in Ethereum interest chart. Now from the main bear market, it is obvious that Ethereum interest in Google Trends is growing. But also something has to push us down. And that is the line that we are talking about. This is the one, the main antagonist of our story. So, not only that it made a resistance on these searches, on these mentioned points, but also a support. So, very important line. When we breach this line, I think you by now know what will happen in Ethereum Google searches. They will explode. And we will use this line as a support. My expectation, that will be next year. We are still in basing and making that fierce bull run, that momentum to the upside. So, while we wait for that opportunity, for that grand show of Ethereum, let's head to the weekly chart and have some fun with that prediction we talked about and that you came here for. Here we are, and let's start it right away. It's getting pretty interesting, huh? First and foremost, we must acknowledge and see what direction Ethereum is trying to take. What is the path that the price want to go to the upside? In the year of 2019, this is the path that Ethereum was trying to use as a vehicle to the bull market. It failed, but the path is clear. After the failed attempt, we are getting our second chance. This is our current path, the path of 2020. So as you can see, our upward trajectory from these two paths is almost identical. We will not use this first path because it failed, and in my assessment, our second path will be the one we are talking about, and on which will we develop this price prediction. Since this is an introduction to the price prediction of Ethereum, and since we are trying to answer the question, when will Ethereum again reach its all-time high? If you want to do it the simplest way possible, we shouldn't use anything rather than trend lines. So only trend lines that are pointing us the direction, only support and resistance lines that are telling us when and how. That was just a quick disclaimer, so that you know that we will not use any fancy technical analysis indicators on any other tools and such. We will put aside our Fibonacci that we already used in one of this model on the chain link chart, and you guys really love that video. But this time I will try to make it even simpler, and for now, while we play this game, not predict some ultra distant future price, but just our own time high. Enough of ranting now. After we establish this trajectory, the arrow that is pointing to the future, I think it's fairly safe to assume that Ethereum from the beginning of 2020 is moving in some kind of a parallel channel to the upside, an ascending channel. And this is the channel that I have in mind. Let's not overcomplicate things. Yes, we can draw a bigger channel than this using even more price action, but as I said, let's make it as simple as possible. And after we drew this channel, now we should assume that Ethereum price action will be moving in the future in this channel, and that is our first point on which we thrive, and the first point on which we will make our conclusions. Why I drew this channel particularly? Well, it made a significant resistance on the upper band in February of this year, or was it March, on the big crash, and also a significant support. The support was already after that made a few times, and last month, as you can see. Also, I must point out this point at which we entered the channel, and you can see that after we breached this line that was then support, we breached it fairly aggressively. Now this middle line is again playing a very important role as a support, as a resistance, and I'm expecting Ethereum price to move around this line. Okay, now that we validated this channel, let's talk about the points that we want to come. And we came here for our all-time high point that will be in the future. Well, first of all, let's point out those levels on the chart. Our first level of 1400, so this is our all-time high. What other level are you interested in? I will point out this level at around $800. For now, those are very important levels and the milestones that we have to come, and based on this channel to the upside, if it doesn't breach this support of this channel, and if we don't break this upward trajectory that we will reach, the only question is when and how. Well, that should be pretty simple. The line that I'm gonna use is the middle line of this channel, and where that line intercepts our points of interest, 800 and 1400, we will assume that something will happen at that point. So those are our target points, and yes, this is where we want to get, and this is where we will get. As we said, if the channel is not broken, that is our first assumption. So the question lies in when. Well, let's try to answer this question. Our first when is at the end of this year. So yes, I'm saying that by this model we will be at $800 by the end of this year. Our second point March of 2021. So now we have our answers. In the March of next year, we will be at all-time high. Is this a brave assumption or too bullish? You can let me know if you want in the comments, but for now, I see this picture playing out. One more thing why that is a real possibility for me. I have a video, it's called The Game of Bitcoin. We predicted in that video that our Bitcoin's all-time high, according to the analysis, will be in the March of next year, so those two things coincide. In my opinion, it is very possible that 1400 should be a reality next year in March. And after that, more prices that are more significant than this one will be presented to you. And of course, we can do this price prediction with more advanced tools, let's say, and into a little distant future. This is pretty simple analysis, and as you can see, this is nothing smart or nothing super advanced. If you have a vision and a few lines, you can do it also. I want to answer one more question, and that is how we will get to these points. I will show you my vision, and then you can make your own. Something like this. It's fairly simple, but fairly possible also. Of course, this is just my interpretation. There are other variations like this, also a possibility. We are not saying that by the March of next year we will never surpass 1400. No, we are saying that we will hover around that number. We can surpass it and then use it as a support for future price action. Those are all possibilities, and your only limitation, your own mind. Think about it. Be a child. Drew a little. Also check out my other videos, because you never know what valuable piece of information is waiting you there. A big roar to you.